Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Los.
What's going on, y'all? It's your boy J.O. And we are coming back at y'all with episode 3 here of Get It Out the Net with your boys Los and J.O. We got a lot to talk about, man. We got a lot to talk about. There's been a lot of great games in the tournament. So we got to the Sweet 16. So we'll talk about some Sweet 16 matchups. There's been a lot of talk. The women are getting people talking, bro. That's one thing I can say that I love is that people are really discussing what's going on in the women's game, both positive and negative. So we're gonna get into a lot of stuff that's just been getting talked about. We've seen the people discussing Caitlin Clark's antics, Angel Reese's antics. So we're gonna get into a lot of the stuff that's surrounding the talks behind the women and how they're acting and conducting themselves on the court and people's reactions to it. I guess we'll talk about some Sweet 16 stuff, like I said, and we'll talk about some of our favorite players in the tournament so far who we've been keeping up with and stuff like that. So let's just get into it. We actually just saw the response from Doug Gottlieb to David Eckel. I want to get into that, Los. So David basically said that the women are showing some emotion and he likes it. He enjoys it. It brings an extra edge to the game and he wants to see more of that. And the men, we've seen it for years with the men, so we can't complain about it when we see it with the women. Doug Gottlieb came back at him with a completely different take, basically saying that we should reprimand the boys. We should reprimand the girls no matter what. We got to hold them responsible for their actions, whatever. It's kind of like a more old school kind of take on he doesn't want to see the players like showing, I guess, that type of emotion, cussing and whatnot, because I guess they're supposed to be role models. That's his take. What do you think about the whole situation, Los?
Part of the game, part of sports, I feel like, but part of basketball for sure is the trash talking aspect. It's the hype, it's the pure emotion that comes from playing the game. This has been part of basketball since the beginning, bro. I mean, not can't go back to the origins of the game, but you look back at Larry Bird, you look back at Michael Jordan, you look back at these players and so on and so forth, and into this new
They were, and
generation.
those guys were fighting on the court. Like they were literally
Fighting,
fist
fighting.
fighting on the
And the
court.
crazy thing is that's why Doug Gottlieb's statement kind of threw me off, because it's like you grew up cheering for that style of basketball. You grew up, cheering for Larry Bird, cheering for Michael Jordan, cheering for McHale's, all the great players of the past. So, and with that being said, you hear a lot of people always say, "Well, we need that intensity. We want players to not stop being friendly all the time and this, that, and the third." Man, I love this for the game. I love this for the game. This has been going on in the men's game forever. Now we're starting to see it more so in the women's game. Bro, the women's game has evolved so much. These young ladies are so much better than the previous generation. Just like the NBA. That's just like the NBA works, bro. These players now are more skilled than ever. Um, I just think it's a crazy take. Like, I don't understand. This is pure passion, especially to say this during March Madness. This is the epitome of the season. So, it's just pure emotion. They're fired up. They're hype, and men's and women's game. I don't see a problem with it at
So
all, bro. To
yeah.
be honest.
One thing I wanted to point out that specifically that he said was we don't like if you go to the men's college game, we don't see the players dropping F bombs and all this and that. It's completely false. It's completely false. That is just disingenuous. It's a lie. It's not true. First of all, the reason that we're seeing Caitlin Clark and we're seeing Angel Reese in these players is because the camera is following them. It's literally on them 24/7. I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark has had games where she has a Caitlin Clark cam. So the camera is literally on her 24/7. If you follow any basketball player in today's generation 24/7, pretty much every game, you're going to catch them cussing. Like that's part of the game. You're not going to watch a basketball game across the country where they're not cussing. Like cussing is going to happen, bro. These are adults, they're young adults, but these are adults. They're showing emotion, they're going to cuss. So like saying that you don't see that in the men's game is just a complete lie. I've seen Rob Dillingham go to the cup, lay a big dude, hand the floor, look at him like, you feel me?
Bro,
It's
we seen Buddy from NC State put two middle fingers up. Like,
literally, we've seen, bro. So to sit here and act like this is just like, oh, we have to reprimand. No, bro, it's a part of the game. And sure, maybe you don't like seeing it, but to make it seem like it's some negative and we need to call Caitlin Clark out is crazy. But I did like his last point, which is that in sports, like normally what happens is the coaches, even if the coaches doesn't like it, if your coach, you have an old school coach and they don't like it, they'll pull you to the side and be like, hey, cut it out, or they might bench you or something like that. So sure, like that is a possibility, but like she's not tainting the game. There's nothing bad with it. There's Angel Reese talks a lot of shit. We've seen Malaysia Full Wiley talk a lot of shit. These players talk shit, bro. It's a part of the game. No matter where you
Hey,
come from, like
hey, Malaysia, wow with it, Jay. Malaysia, wow.
yeah, like trash talking is literally a part of the game. Like it's part of men's basketball, it's part of women's basketball. These are high intense moments where these girls pretty much have the weight of the world on their shoulders. Like Caitlin Clark, I can't even imagine like the responsibility that that girl has day in and day out to like be great, to carry her team, to carry basically the expectations of everybody else along with the expectations that you have. Like, and then we're putting out like her cussing, her getting mad at the refs, like do you watch the NBA? So Doug Gottlieb, my question is, do you watch the NBA? Because if you watch, you can't watch the NBA.
There's no way. There's no way because that
Impossible you watch the NBA.
there's no way he watches the NBA.
Because he wants that type of basketball. He needs to go to a church league and watch. I don't know what he wants. I don't know what he wants.
Hey Jay, I ain't gonna lie. We both played at Christian colleges. They ain't stopped nobody. Like
Not stopping, bro. That's what I'm trying to. I don't get it. Like I understand that these are role models, but at the end of the day, like it's a sport, and no matter what, I know you don't want your kids like seeing people cuss on TV, whatever. Your kids are going to see cussing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news
it's
at some point.
2024. I hope his kids don't have cell phones
Yeah,
because if
I
he
was
worried
gonna say, if they have a
about
cell
that.
phone, if they're on the internet, if they like anything like of pop culture, of any culture, like there's cussing, bro. So it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. I think that there are moments, yeah, the Angel Reese thing when she did to Caitlin Clark last year in the finals, it was a little different. Like she followed her around the court, but it's trash talk. It's trash talk at the end of the day. And if Caitlin Clark and if these players don't, it doesn't bother them, it's not going to bother me. Like, who am I to be like, oh, Angel Reese, you suck? But Caitlin Clark sitting here like, no, I love Angel. Like, what I'm just a bitter old man at that
I'm
point.
just a bit. Yeah, I'm about to say he just sound like a bitter old man, bro.
Literally. So, all right, man. Let's move over to some of the games, bro. It was some great games leading up in the first round, second round. We had some upsets. Duke was a huge upset over Ohio State. I did not see that one coming. I thought Ohio State had the potential to get to the Final Four, maybe even the championship. They had a lot of good players, but they got beat by Duke. Shout out Duke. They came ready to play. Paige Beckers has been on one this whole tournament. To me, she's been the best player so far in the tournament, I would have to say.
I mean I would agree with you, bro. I mean it's honestly hard. It's hard to even say, bro. Like I'm thinking about it in my head. There's been a lot of these ladies that have been stepping up, putting up big numbers, leading their teams night in and night out. But Paige, Paige is elite, bro. She's elite, and I feel like Paige right now is on her revenge tour. Like she ain't get to play last year in the tournament. So I feel like she's really just been leading this team, bro. Like the team is rolling right now, and it has everything to do with how Paige is playing.
Yeah, and the thing I love about Paige, there's two things I love about Paige and her game. One, she's super efficient. She is super efficient. She's not like she's not a volume scorer. She's gonna take about 15 to 20 shots, and she's probably gonna make upwards of 50% of them. Like, and right now she's on one, so she's on a tear. She's going crazy. The next thing I love about Paige Beckers, she lets the game come to her, but that's how she normally plays. But right now she's kind of like demanding the rock. She's like, all right, let me take control. It's tournament time. I've been here before. Let me be the one to lead us and y'all follow. And I love that about Paige Beckers right now because typically throughout the season, she hasn't been the dominant, like she's been the scorer, but she hasn't been the dominant, give me the ball type of player. But now you're starting to see more of that as the season winds down. The Big East tournament, the NCAA tournament, she's kind of like saying, okay, like it's time for me to step up. It's time for me to be the superstar. And Gino's probably pushing that. Gino's probably telling
I was
her,
about to say, bro. I was about to say, if anybody
time,
can turn their stars up, it's Gino Oriema.
at time, that's all Gino had to say. Come to it's that time, Paige. Go home. That's it. That's all.
All right, I'll see you. I'll see you at practice.
I see you at practice. It's that time. And that's all. Sometimes that's all you gotta say to a player like that. So I love what I'm seeing from Paige Beckers. I think they got a favorable matchup against Duke. I like UConn to make it to the Elite Eight over Duke, but Duke is playing really good. So
Hey, I'm about to say,
I'm not gonna say that like I'm counting Duke out. I'm
about
just
to
gonna
say,
Paige Beckers is going too crazy for me to pick against her right now. But that's
no,
all
I'm not mad at that at all, bro. I just got to say, Kara Lawson, shout you out. You got them girls hooping at Duke. I'm
yes.
going to say this, bro, because we've pretty much watched almost every game up until this point. What I've noticed about Duke is I honestly haven't seen a team stay this poised throughout the tournament. They are extremely calm. They're extremely poised no matter how up and down the game is going. They are remaining even keeled, and it has a lot to do with Kara Lawson. But I think, but having that mentality in this kind of tournament, that's gonna take you a long way. So, hey, it's like you said, it's hard to pick against UConn and Paige Beckers, but this is actually the matchup I'm most excited to see in the next round.
So who you got?
I mean,
Who you got? The people want to know who you got. So here's
I'm
my
not a
thing.
betting man, but if I was, I got to go UConn.
Okay, I like that.
They just built for this. They just built for this, bro.
Here's the thing. I think we're both on the same page when it comes like to Paige Beckers. Like she's going so crazy, and we know that she's a superstar. She's built for this, so we're gonna go with her. But if you asked me, to be honest, before the tournament, who's better, Ohio State or UConn? I would say Ohio State. And Duke won that game fairly easily
Handily.
At Ohio State. So when you do something like that, your confidence is up, way up. Right now, you can't tell Duke nothing. Like to me, I'm looking at Duke. If I'm on Duke, we can get to the Final Four. We just beat Ohio State. Now we got UConn. We could beat UConn. That's how I'm feeling. Personally, I'm gonna go with UConn, but I expect, like you said, that to be a very, very good matchup, bro.
Absolutely.
Good matchup.
Absolutely.
Real quick, I do want to give a quick shout out to a couple girls that just had amazing seasons this year and have had amazing careers. They lost in the round of 32, and Rakia Jackson and Alyssa Peely, but both of those players are top 10 picks, could be top 5 picks. They've proven that they are superstars in this game, and they're going to go to the WNBA and be a problem. So I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them. They did lose, but they both went out, getting crazy buckets. So shout out to them.
Hopefully our Atlanta Dream get one of them. I'm just saying.
I would love that, bro. I would love that. So let's look at some of these matchups, bro. We got Oregon State taking on Notre Dame. That's another matchup I can't wait to see.
Bro, they gonna hate me, but hey, Notre Dame about to have their hands full.
Notre Dame is gonna have their hands full, and like I've been saying, Oregon State is a tough team. Like they're a tournament built team.
They are.
So they're going to be tough to beat. They got size, they got good guard play, and they just move the rock. They don't have one player where you're like, okay, if we stop her, we're going to win. Mm-hmm. Talia Von Ohoff is their best player, but they kind of, they get contributions from everybody. But what I do think is going to be a game changer is just Hannah Hidalgo, bro. Her ball pressure. I think that she can make life hell for any point guard on the opposing team. But yeah, like Donovan Hunter, she's had a great freshman year. She gonna have another freshman on her ass for the pause, bro. But Hannah Hidalgo is going to be all over Donovan Hunter, and I expect her to make her life very, very hard. So honestly, I expect Talia Von Ohoff to play a lot of point guard in that game, just because you don't want Hannah Hidalgo.
Now you need that presence that
need that pressure
release. Gives, yeah. You need that pressure
release. So I think that we'll see Von Ohoff handle the rock a lot. We might see Hannah Hidalgo switch on to Von Ohoff, and even though she's a little bit of a bigger guard, Hannah can pretty much guard anybody. So we'll see Hannah, make life hell for the opponent.
All I can say is don't put it on the floor. Do not.
Here's my thing: if Hannah picks you up full court, just swing that rock.
Well, hey, pride goes aside. Let's get past half court.
No, there's no pride about it. She's averaging 5 steals a game, bro. That's a lot. You feel me? Like I can't have my point guard out there getting ripped 5 times. That's not a good thing. So let the other player bring it up. But yeah, shout out Hannah Hidalgo. I think she's gonna be a game changer in that game. And Notre Dame's playing good ball. They're getting contributions from everybody, bro. Everybody. So I think that's another game that's gonna be great. I think pretty much all these Sweet 16 games.
Okay, no. I'm not letting you skip over. Give me your pick.
I'm going with Notre Dame.
Okay.
I'm going with Notre Dame. Sounds like you're going with Oregon State.
I am.
Okay, Willow's got Oregon State. I got Notre Dame. I can't. That's a game I can see going either way. Yeah. I think obviously Oregon State's going to have a little bit of an advantage down low just because they have more size. But sure. I think the guard pressure and just the guard play from Notre Dame, I think that's going to be the difference maker. The Indiana-South Carolina game, obviously, I think we're both going to go South Carolina. They look like they're hell-bent on a mission. What they did to with North Carolina was downright disrespectful. Don Staley, you need to call the dogs off at some point. Listen to me right now. At some point, when you're up like 40, 50 points first half, call the dogs off. Call them off.
Don Staley wild to me, bro, because she'll let the dogs play all 40. Blow a team out like that, and then just have such high praise for the other team.
Yeah, and then just tell them how they play so good. Meanwhile, she's sick and full Wiley on them, and she's saucing them up and under. Man, they just, if you get up 40 points, just call the dogs off. That's all I ask. Respectfully. I have a question that I wanted to get to. Who would you say has more pressure / more to lose from not winning the national championship? South Carolina or Caitlin Clark?
That's how we're. Oh,
I know I hate to say Caitlin Clark, but we know what it is. Like if Iowa wins, it's gonna be Caitlin Clark getting a lot of the love. No disrespect to anybody on Iowa. It's Iowa.
to be honest with you, the pressure is more so on Don Staley and the South Carolina team.
Mm,
And the
mm.
reason that is, bro, and believe me, I love the Iowa women's team to death. But besides Caitlin Clark, they potentially have one other WNBA player on that roster, which is Stolke. They don't have. There's not another talent on that team. And when you equate it to what South Carolina has on their team, then South Carolina has about 4 or 5 pros on that team. So Don Staley, second consecutive season, almost going undefeated, lost in the chip last year. They lose in the round of in the Elite Eight round or in the Final Four round. It's going to be a major disappointment.
Has to be Caitlin Clark. I think that first of all, she's playing with the pressure of the world. I think if South Carolina doesn't win another, like if they don't win the national championship, I mean, we're just gonna have to call a spade a spade. It's hard to go undefeated the entire year. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to go through winning every single game you've never lost. So when you get into a tough situation, it's hard to know how to respond. But it's just hard to go undefeated. They went undefeated last year, lost in the Final Four. If they go undefeated this year and they lose in the Final Four again, I think people will talk about it, but I think it'll get blown over. We know how good Don Staley is, and they'll be back in the Final Four the next year. Caitlin Clark, this is her last hoorah. If she doesn't win that national championship, it just gives license to like the hate. If she does win it, it erases all hate. Like people have to instantly shut up. There's nothing that you can really say about her. If she does not win it though, like that is going to be the thing. Oh, it's just going to be a talking point that everybody's going to hold over her.
The thing with Caitlin Clark is, bro, no matter what, I realize people are going to hate on her regardless. She gets the most hate. She gets the most hate for a women's basketball player I've ever seen in my life. And it's because she's so damn good. So it's like, even if she wins the chip, they're gonna figure out some way to change the message behind it. It's just
and a lot of it is just jealousy.
Exactly, bro.
Like people try to turn it into like a black white thing. That's the one thing I hate. Like, bro, as a hooper, there is no black white. It's
if you can hoop, you can hoop.
You can literally, that's all it is. When you step on that floor, like black, white, if you underestimate somebody and they can hoop, they gonna bust your ass. Like that's just how it is, no matter who it is. So Caitlin it doesn't matter. She's black, white, no matter what. Like she's a baller. Man, I want to talk about Gonzaga for a second, man, because Gonzaga making it to the Sweet 16, they surprised me. They surprised me.
Biggest surprise of the tournament, in my opinion.
And it shouldn't be. I think it's just a product of I haven't seen a lot of Gonzaga basketball, but from watching them play, they play great basketball. That is a great team, and they're going to give Texas some trouble because they have players that can do things 1 through 5. Like it's not like, okay, we have some good guard. They have a good team.
They almost have like an Oregon State setup.
Yeah, the Truongs are ballers. They are hoopers. There's 2 of them, and they play the exact same way. I don't know how you do. Like they play the exact same way, average nearly the same points and assists. There's 2 of them. They can both shoot. They can both handle the rock. They are tough. Shout out to Truongs. They can hoop. They got some good players down low, 2 of them. So like they're gonna be a tough matchup. Madison Booker, we know what she is. That's a bucket right there.
Hey, Lady KD.
Hey, I'm trying to tell people.
Lady KD.
3-5, 6-3-5. She putting on right there. Madison Booker interview coming soon. Look out for that. Shout out Madison Booker. Who you got in that game? I want to know who you got in that game.
Oh man. Texas rolling right now, bro. Even besides Madison Booker, bro, they're rolling. They're rolling. They're playing really well as a team right now. And Madison Booker is just crazy, bro, because they play well as a team throughout the whole game. But when they need a bucket, it's like, go ahead and clear it out. Madison Booker gonna go ahead and get a midi. She's gonna get to the rack. Gonzaga just has a. Oh, bro, I can't pick that one. I'm gonna go Gonzaga. I have Tech, bro. In my bracket, I had Texas in my Final Four. But with the way this whole tournament's been going and seeing the amount, the pieces that Gonzaga has, hey, love Lady KD for sure. Madison Booker, you are a dog. But they have a full team over there, and they ain't none of them worry about going to the league. They worry about this college chip. I don't know. I'm gonna go Gonzaga, bro. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go Gonzaga.
Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna go Gonzaga. I was going to go Gonzaga. I'm still going to go Gonzaga. I think that, like you said, after watching them play and how versatile they are on offense and how they have 2 really good guards in the Truongs, I'm going to go with Gonzaga. I think that they just got a lot, bro. I like what they got, but we know what this tournament is, bro. The tournament has always been the same from the beginning of time to the end of time. You got a superstar on your team, they can take you to the top. They could take you to the championship. So Madison Booker is a superstar, a
She
bona
is.
fide
She
superstar.
is.
She's one of the best players in college basketball right now, and she's gonna be for the next 4 years. So she has what it takes to get them to this
For sure.
Elite Eight. There's nothing that can stop her. Like if she has a crazy game, Texas is gonna win. But right now, I'm rolling with this Gonzaga train. I like what I see from them. Just like I said, just everybody on the team just stepping up right now. I think I'm gonna have to roll with Gonzaga. I just want to know what you thought about this. Was the biggest story of the day yesterday. Caitlin Clark getting offered $5 million from Ice Cube to go.
Oh man.
What do you
First, first of all,
the whole thing? Like,
first of all, to be getting paid more than LeBron James on a per game basis is insane. Okay, I just want to say that. That is insane. They only asking her to play 10 games. So that's already crazy. Will she do it? Probably not. Probably not. But I think it'd be a really cool story. I think it'd be awesome once she retires if the big three still around. Yeah, go ahead and bring Caitlin Clark on. Like, that's cool. Let's do that. But as of right now, I don't think she would do the big three tournament. I do think it's really cool though that Ice Cube sees how amazing this young lady is and is like, you know what, let's bring her on. Of course, he knows he's gonna make millions of dollars having her for those 10 games. But all in all, I just think it's super crazy. I don't think we've ever seen a female athlete get offered a contract from a men's league in any sport. So I think that's pretty cool within itself. So I just think it might be a little too physical. And Indiana Fever, WNBA, Nike, they're not letting their star product get hurt like that. So
I just want I have a lot of thoughts just like about the whole thing. My first thought is I feel like I don't want to disrespect anybody. I feel like Ice Cube did that solely for the headlines. Like I think in the back of his mind, he knows that there's no way Caitlin Clark is going to play in the big three. But if he puts it out there, oh, I offered her $5 million, this huge deal, it's going to make it's going to make news cycles, and everybody was talking about it yesterday. So it did what it did what he was trying to do, and I think obviously it's going to bring. I don't know how much attention it's going to bring to the big three, like people actually watching it, but it obviously has us talking about it. It has everybody talking about the big three right now, which, you know, Ice Cube's trying to bring eyes to. So I think in that aspect, he did what he was trying to do, which was create people talking about it. Because I don't think that in his mind, he actually believes that Caitlin Clark was going to step out there to play for the big three.
So pivoting a little bit, I have a question for you, and I was thinking about it yesterday, and I just want to get your opinion on it. You know, we got to be in attendance for the first two rounds of the tournament at Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City. But what are your thoughts on a lot like letting the first four seeds have that home court advantage? Because it is March Madness, it is the tournament, and it almost seems like those 16 seeds, those 15 seeds, even 9 seeds and 10 seeds, they're at a disadvantage, and it feels like March Madness is supposed to be like as equal as a playing field as it can get. So I just wanted your thoughts on the first top four seeds getting a home court advantage.
I think that what you're saying is correct. Like I think they obviously you have an advantage. Like you're playing at home. You know, you're gonna get most of the crowd is gonna be your crowd, you know, because all the other teams aren't gonna just be able to travel like how your home crowd is gonna be able to travel. So you have an advantage. Like you definitely have an advantage. And I hear the point that it's almost an unfair advantage because it's the NCAA tournament, like season's on the line and you get to play a home game. I think it just goes back to before, like obviously we're seeing it now when the fanfare is at its all-time highest. But you got to look back to even a few years ago, not even that long ago, 4 years ago, when there was empty arenas. You know,
the fandom wasn't where it's at.
That's the thing. There's a lot of arenas that are packed out. There's still empty arenas when it comes to women's basketball. So there's still a long way to go. This is a great start, but there's still a long way to go. You have to look back historically when you're playing these games in front of no fans. You're going to get more fans from a home crowd than you will if like you put it in somewhere and have everybody travel to that location. So I think that they were trying to get more fans to like show up.
That's a good point.
Just in general, because like no matter what, if you're not going to come to a game at your home arena, you're definitely not going to travel to go watch the games. So you have a better chance of getting fans at the home arena. And I think that if you give it to the highest seed, you're assuming that they have the highest fanfare and they'll have the most fans to come to the games. So I think that's one thing. And then I think obviously with the women's basketball, you know, historically not making as much money, it's just less money for them to travel. So like you're going to have to like figure out a way for all these teams to travel. 64, 68 teams or whatever to travel. So like I think that they were just trying to save money and figure out ways to create more fans in the past. Now moving forward with the fanfare, and hopefully it continues to grow. And I think the game is growing at a place that it's going to keep growing. It's something I think that they're going to have to consider because
Bruh, that shit is not fair playing in Carver.
It's not, bro. It is not fair at all. Like that is the loudest, like craziest, most rabid fans. Like that is not fair, bro. It's not. But you see teams like Duke. Duke got the upset at Ohio State. So I mean, it's possible that you win, but it's very unlikely because you have such a big disadvantage. Like we saw in the LSU game, LSU was struggling, but that crowd being at home carried you through. And even so, like we know what it is. Like I hate to take it to this, but the refs are human, bro. When the crowd is getting going, like you're at home, you're probably going to get more calls than other places just because the refs get into the game too and the crowd's going crazy. Momentum is a real thing, bro, and it happens with the refs too. So it's just something that I think I agree with you. I think it's something that they might have to look at going forward, but it also is going to take like the game expanding because like we've seen in the men's game, like all the teams, their fans are going to travel. Like even the smaller schools, like they're happy as hell that they made it to the tournament. If they get that first round upset, they're traveling to the 32 Sweet. Like these teams travel. In the women's game, we haven't seen it historically, but as we move forward, we're probably going to see it more. So it's something that they're for sure going to have to consider because, like you said, it's just not fair. So I just want to move over. We don't have to get super in depth. If you have some stuff you want to say about some of these games, we can talk about it. But I just want to get some winners in some of these Sweet 16 games that we haven't talked about yet.
Okay.
We got Oregon State, Notre Dame. We got Indiana, South Carolina. So NC State, Stanford. Who you got?
NC State been balling, bro. NC State been balling. Stanford has way too much stuff. Stanford's got a lot, bro. I picked against Stanford initially. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm gonna go ahead and ride with Stanford versus NC State, but I think that'll be a very good game as well.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that matchup. NC State is very athletic. They have a lot of great wing players. Tanaya Rivers is a great player. So I think that they're going to cause a lot of issues for Stanford. But like you said, the combination of Cameron Brink and Iriafen, bro, I don't know what you do with that down low, bro. Cameron Brink didn't play that good last game, and Iriafen went off for 41 and 16. So that duo down low is probably one of the best big duos that we have in the game. Let's move over to LSU versus UCLA. That might be the matchup of the Sweet 16 right here. Who you got?
Right. First of all, I like Kiki Rice. All right, she fire. She's so good. Man, she don't get enough attention. She don't get enough love, but she's really nice, bro.
Brother.
I don't know, bro. LSU is one of those teams that they're extremely talented, but they play down to the level of their competition. I feel like sometimes, they don't always remain like poised throughout the way. They get a little emotional sometimes, but they always figure out a way. So I'm gonna go LSU.
Okay.
I'm gonna go LSU. I think our first 2 seed, that 2 seed is gonna fall UCLA. But man, UCLA, a hell of a team. Like I said, Kiki Rice, hell of a player. I'm gonna go LSU.
Okay. I just want to give a quick shout out to she's been begging us to talk about UCLA for like a few weeks now. Like she's like, please give UCLA some love. So shout out Kristen Cabanis. She's been asking for this UCLA.
You gonna get your video, girl? Don't worry.
Yeah. Shout out UCLA. Like you said, they are a very good team. They've been one of the best teams all season, bro. Like shout out UCLA. They got a very good team. Kiki Rice, like you said, she's a hooper. You got Lauren Betts down low. I think she's gonna be a problem. But I'm gonna go with LSU. I think that this is gonna be a game that Angel Reese shows people what she's capable of. Obviously, I don't think she's a back to the basket player where you're gonna just throw it down low and be like, oh, make a move every play or whatever. But I think her defensive versatility against Lauren Betts I think she's going to give Betts trouble because she's athletic and Betts is kind of big, slower, like, let me get to my spot. I think Angel Reese's athleticism is going to disrupt Lauren Betts a little bit and just her tenacity on the boards. Angel Reese, I'm not going to say I've never, but in a long time, I haven't seen somebody attack the glass like how she attacks the glass. Like every time the shot goes up, she's going up for the rebound and she's going to go through you, around you, no matter what she has to do to get that rebound, bro. She's going to get that rebound. And I think just her tenaciousness on the rebounding and on the glass alone is going to give UCLA problems. I think that's going to get Lauren Betts in foul trouble. So that's where I'm going to lean to LSU, just because I think Angel Reese is going to give her problems. And I think the matchup I can't wait to see, bro. I cannot wait to see Big Foe versus Kiki Rice. That is going to be a great matchup. That's going to be a good matchup.
Hey, that's great, bro. We got Lady KD in Texas, and we got Lady D Wade in Louisiana, bro. This is but nah, I think honestly, bro, that might be like the X factor. Big Foe, Flau'jae definitely gonna be.
I think at this point, it's safe to say that it's hard to say that because LSU kind of plays like everybody gets the ball and there's no really one go-to.
No, I'm talking about more so defensively. I think that if she, because who you think they're gonna put Van Lith on Rice or
no, Flau'jae.
Yeah, Flau'jae gonna be on Rice. So I think
definitely the player that Flau'jae, they put Flau'jae on the best player on the other team.
Yeah, so if they put Flau'jae, if Flau'jae can, she's not gonna be able to stop Kiki Rice, but if she can contain Kiki Rice and
that's the thing, Flau'jae has spoken on this a lot recently, just like how much more effort and intensity she's giving on the defensive end. She said she had a lot of lapses and stuff at the beginning of the season, but now she's starting to learn from her mistakes and figure everything out. And she's playing great defense. She's playing great on both ends of the floor. So I expect her to be locked in. In big time matchups, like this is a Sweet 16, she's going to be locked in. So I expect that matchup to be a great matchup. But Flau'jae, she's going to do what she do, bro. She's going to do what she do. I think that she's, like I said, she's becoming more of the go-to player on the offensive end, which I love to see. But LSU got a lot of players, bro. It could be anybody. It could be Van Lith some nights. It could be Michaela Williams, or it could be Flau'jae. It could be Angel Reese. We don't know. But I think that Flau'jae kind of is taking the I've been here before, and I know that everybody else hasn't. So when things kind of get a little tough, lean on me. And I love that from her. I love that from her. Let's get to this Baylor USC matchup. Who you got? Oh, I got. You know who I got.
I mean, bro, look.
I'm going with Juju. You know that.
Hey, I know. Hey, look.
Big Ju.
Baylor tough. Look, I'm being respectful. Baylor is a very good team, but they don't got not damn shit for Juju Watkins. Look, it's not even. And the thing is, bro, like it's easy to say Juju, right? It's really easy to say that, but Mackenzie Forbes has been stepping up crazy, and then the great thing about the situation Juju's in is that she can really focus on offense because you got Rhea Marshall down there. Rhea Marshall locking everything up defensively.
Holding it down. She holding that pain down.
Yeah, so I think that team is constructed very well. They are a bit top heavy, but that hey, they've made it this far. I'm gonna go USC in that game, bro. But Baylor's no slouch. But I think that the supporting cast around Juju is what makes that team so good.
Yeah, so obviously Juju's going to get all the headlines. She's a superstar. She's going to be one of the faces of women's basketball. Shout out Juju Watkins. But like you said, it's not just Juju Watkins. Lindsey Gottlieb has put together a very good team around her. She went and got some great players from the Ivy League. Padilla is a very steady point guard, hits some threes. She's very solid. She always does what you need her to do. Rhea Marshall, like you said, has been holding down the paint. And even Akunwafu off the bench when if Rhea Marshall gets in foul trouble. So she played very good last game. And then you got Kayla Davis, who's just like a do-it-all player. Like she's not going to score.
She's going to do whatever the team needs that game.
Literally, whatever you need that game, she's going to do. Whether it's rebound, guard the other team's player, just be out there. Like she's going to do whatever you need to help win the game. So I love that from Kayla Davis. And then Mackenzie Forbes. Mackenzie Forbes is a great 1B. She's a great Robin. Like she's a great second option. She can take, if Juju's having an off night, she can step up and be the one option. She's a great player. So I think that what Gottlieb did in bringing all those players from the Ivy League, and then you got a superstar in Juju Watkins, she put together a great team.
People so sleep on men's and women's Ivy League hoops for real. Like they got some hoopers in the Ivy League, bro.
That is a big fact. They really do. And I think we see it when a lot of those players like have to transfer out, and they get to these other programs, we see how good they are. So just like all these players are showing up for USC, we would have never heard of them probably if they were still in the Ivy League, but they get to go to USC. They get a 1 seed. Now they're in the Sweet 16, bro, and they're getting to show off their game, bro. Like you said, Mackenzie is a baller, bro. And her story,
she's really impressed me a lot, bro. She really impressed me a lot.
Her story as to how she got to USC is just insane, bro. Like she went to Harvard, or no, she didn't. She missed the deadline to apply for Harvard, then had to go to JUCO, transfer into Harvard, which Harvard accepts less than 1% of transfers. So you got to think like what you have to do. You have to be top of the line.
You have to be perfect.
Basically, you literally have to be perfect in all academic areas. On top of it, she's a hooper, so she gets in, gets to finish her career at Harvard. Yeah, at
Yeah,
Harvard.
Harvard.
And the rule is you can only once you graduate, you can't. There's no graduate players at there, so she gets to go to USC, and now she's playing with Juju Watkins.
Bruh,
And
to go ahead and get your bachelor's from Harvard, then to go out to LA and hoop with Juju. Come on, man. It don't get
living the
better than
dream
that.
right now, bro. She's living the dream.
It
So
don't
man,
get
shout
better than
out
that.
Mackenzie Ford, bro. I love that for her. And I got USC, bro. I gotta go with them Trojans. I think that they are on a mission right now. And Juju, bro, she's resurging the USC name in women's basketball. Like she's putting on. I love that. That's one thing I love about women's basketball is that we get stars from all these different places. Like USC, I mean not USC, South Carolina is the big dogs right now. They get a lot of the best talent. But you see somebody like Juju Watkins who says, I could go to South Carolina, I could go to one of these other big schools, but I want to stay at home and go to USC and put them back on the map.
Same
And
thing with
return.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark, I was going to get there. Caitlin Clark, she could have went to any of these other schools. She could have went to UConn, could have went to a lot of different places. She said, I want to stay home and create something here. I love those stories. We see all these players, creating their own legacy. I love that.
Not for sure, bro. I love to see it. I love to see it.
And last game we got to get to, Los. The last one, the one everybody's waiting on us to talk about. Colorado versus Iowa.
Ooh.
Who you
All
got,
right.
Mom?
Look, man. This is gonna be a tough one. Colorado, before we get into anything Iowa, Colorado is extremely tough. Jalen Sherrod and Aaronek Vonleh, amazing. I also have to take into account that Colorado has beat LSU this year. They beat USC this year. They've beat Stanford this year. They've beat Kansas State this year.
Battle tested. Like if you want to keep it a buck, the Pac-12 was so great this year that like if you won anything in the Pac-12, like you're battle tested. So they've been, like you said, USC is USC, UCLA, all these Sweet 16 teams, they've played them, they've beat them. So they're not fearing anything. They're not coming into the game. They're not going to be, oh, Caitlin Clark. They're going to come with a mission. Like that first game, I was shocked when they went out there and did that to LSU.
Yeah.
They went out there and dominated them from the get-go. Like, we're the better team. We're about to win. So just from that alone, I knew, okay, Colorado is for real.
I think the biggest thing with Colorado is they play a very physical brand of basketball.
They do.
They play
it's Sherrod. Like Sherrod leads the charge. Like she's a small point guard, but she's one of those, I'm going to get in you. Like I'm gonna pick you up.
Sure.
You're gonna feel me this whole game, which I think is gonna be a very interesting matchup because I'm interested to see who they put her on.
So I bring up that physicality because of the fact that Iowa struggled a little bit versus West Virginia. Now I will say they pulled that one out. West Virginia was throwing scheme after scheme at Caitlin Clark. She was able to, it got off to a slow start, was able to figure it out, poured it on late like she usually does. But Iowa struggled with that level of physicality from West Virginia. Colorado is more physical than West Virginia. And if Iowa has any Achilles heel, it is physicality. So that's my only thing going into it. Now, with that being said, Iowa constructed as a team, it's really weird to see it, but and I don't want to sound cliche, but they really do play together. Like it's a you don't really see it too much in today's game, especially when you have a star, like a superstar on your team. But even she's a willing passer. And so with that being said, I think Colorado's been battle tested this year, but Iowa has been battle tested the last 4 years. So they've been in this boat for a while now. So I do think they have enough to get over that hump, but Colorado is going to be extremely tough.
Yeah. Speaking of this, like the way that Iowa plays and they move the ball, I feel like typically what you think of when you see like a ball dominant player is everybody kind of watching that player and just standing around and like just waiting. All right, we'll shoot the catch and shoot threes. We'll cut when you drop, stuff like that. But it's not really like that with Iowa. Like it's more so like, let's try to get her the ball in a spot that she can shoot it. And if not, she'll get off the rock. She'll keep moving, but we'll work. Like they just play around her, kind of, not like necessarily.
They don't play through her, but you're right. Yep.
It still is through her, but it's not how you would typically expect of somebody who has the stats that she has. Like she'll come down, she'll hand it to somebody, come off a curl screen, get it back, then do her double step back to try to shoot a three or something. It's not really like, all right, I'm dribbling down, dribble, everybody watch me, set me a pick, dribble. Like the ball moves a lot. That's why I think everybody's always in rhythm. And then when, like Lisa Bluter says, when everybody's getting involved, when everybody's hitting shots, they're almost impossible to beat because the ball is moving so well. Let's speak on Colorado. Like you said, they have beat LSU this year. They beat a lot of really good teams. So I know for a fact they are not going to come into this game with any level of like fear or tentativeness. Like they're going to come full throttle as soon as the game starts. And that's just how Jalen Sherrod plays the entire game. She comes at you full throttle. Sometimes it hurts her. Most of the times it's positive, but sometimes she gets a little out of control and the pace of the game can kind of get frenetic with how they play. That's one thing about Colorado that I don't like, is that when things get a little frantic, the Jalen Sherrod can kind of get like too, I'm trying to bring us all back at once.
Mhm.
That also helps them a lot because she pushes the pace. Like nobody else on that team is pushing the pace like that. She changes the game on both ends for them. So she's a great point guard. I think that she's going to be a game changer. I'm very interested to see her and who they put her on, because she's one of the best defensive point guards in the country, but she's a lot smaller than Caitlin Clark.
And Colorado needs her on offense.
And
So,
yes, and her getting in foul trouble is not
that's exactly where I was going.
in the game. So it's like you're almost, it's a catch-22, not to be, no pun intended. I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do there. Like, because she is your best defender. She probably gives you the best chance at like disrupting Caitlin Clark. She has active hands. She'll press Caitlin Clark and she can give her problems. But if she gets a couple early fouls, that changes everything. And now you're kind of screwed for the rest of the game. So to get to the pick, I'm going with Iowa. I think that Iowa will get past this game, but it's going to be a tough game. I think that Iowa travel is amazing. I'm expecting their fan base to travel even though it's in Albany, it's a tough place to travel to.
I hate that, man. Why Albany? Ain't shit in Albany. Why Albany?
I don't know, man.
Come to Miami or something, like
crazy. Hopefully, yeah, moving forward, bro, they got to pick better destinations, because like Albany, New York is just a crazy place to have.
And it's expensive as hell to get to.
Yeah, so that sucks. But I think that Iowa fans will still travel. I think they'll have a good crowd. Probably, if I had to guess, probably more than Colorado will travel with. So I think that Iowa will have some sort of advantage when it comes to the crowd. But I'm expecting a really good game, a physical game, like you said. But I'm expecting Iowa and them to come out on top and get to that Elite Eight. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. It's been another one here with your boys. And just like that, we out.
Hey, we